What's up, everybody? Welcome to this webinar where I'm going to explain to you how hiring virtual assistants can help you make more money while working less. And that's what this webinar is going to teach you, the 3 key secrets that I've discovered that will show you why hiring virtual assistants is the best thing you can do for your business, how it can really help your business take off. So we're going to be starting that in just a couple of minutes. I'm going to wait for more people to arrive here in the webinar. And if you're here, I'd love to hear from who you are, where you're chatting in from. So let me know that in the comments so I know who's here. And I just kind of want to explain how this next hour or so is going to go, but I'm going to wait a second. So here we have King Carlos saying, hey. Janadi is saying, hello, Paul. Al's here from Boston. Welcome, Al. It's good to have you. And Dustin is here from Las Vegas. Great place to be. Jay Goldie's here from Maine. Danielle from Mexico. Cool. It's great to have you all here. Thanks so much for coming out today. I really appreciate it. So I just kind of want to explain how the next hour is going to go. So for the next half hour or so, I'm going to give you guys the breakdown of why I believe that hiring virtual assistants is really necessary if you want your store to have great growth. And I'll really be sharing with you guys 3 secrets that I've discovered about hiring virtual assistants that I think you guys are going to find really valuable. After that, if it's cool with you guys, I just want to spend a few minutes to tell you about a great opportunity to learn more about virtual assistants, about hiring and training them. I'll explain that to you guys real quick. Then I know that you guys are all excited about the free giveaway. So after that, I will be giving away a free entry to my new course. In order to win, you have to be here live. And what I'm going to do is, when that time comes, I'm going to ask you guys a question about something we went over during the webinar. And I'm going to pick one random person who answers it correctly. You don't have to be the first person to answer it correctly, but you do have to be one of the people who answer it correctly. And I will pick that person just randomly, and they will win. So make sure that you're paying attention. I would put away your cell phones, turn off the TV, and focus so that you answer it correctly. So if that's cool with you guys, just write cool into the comments. So I know that we're all good and that will work out for everyone. Cool. So I see some cools already. So it sounds like we are good to go. And of course, after that, I know you guys are going to have some questions. So I'll stick around for any questions you have, like a Q&A. But I didn't want to waste too much time right here in the beginning. So let's just get right into this. Cool. Everyone's saying cool, awesome. Carmen says, cool, thank you. I see somebody with says cool, and they have the smiley face with the sunglasses. I like that, Juan. It's pretty cool. All right, so we're gonna get started here. I'm just going to share my screen. And then I'll explain to you guys how hiring virtual assistants can make you more money while working less. And this is pretty cool, guys. So I think you're going to find some great information out of this. So first, I just want to know who's here. So if you are brand new to drop shipping, drop a number 2 in the comments. But if you've already started drop shipping, put a number 1 into the comments. I just want to kind of know who's here so I can know if I should start at the beginning a little bit or if we should just get right into it. So type a number 1 in the comments if you've already started drop shipping, and a number 2 if you haven't. So I'm seeing a lot of number 1s. It seems like a lot of you guys already know what drop shipping is. You're familiar with this model. A lot of you have started. 2, I see some of them. Some of you guys haven't started, or maybe you know a little bit about it. So I'm just going to go over it real quick, just for anyone new. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I want to get really into the meat of this, which is about how hiring virtual assistants can help your eBay business, your eBay drop shipping business. It seems like you guys, a lot of you have already started doing this and are looking for help to get things going. So real quick, what is eBay dropshipping? So what you do is you list an item on eBay that you don't have in stock. Then once the item sells, you're paid through PayPal. After that, you buy the item from like Walmart.com or Amazon.com, and then you enter the buyer's shipping address. That way the item is shipped directly to them, and that's really it. You're done at that point. So if that makes sense, just type into the comments, great, that makes sense. Let me know if that's cool with everybody so that I know we can kind of move on And that all makes sense. Cool. So it seems like everyone's on the same page here. Great. So let's keep going. I just kind of want to introduce myself for anyone who's new and doesn't know who I am. This is who I am. I'm Paul J. Lipsky. I'm a 7-figure eBay dropshipper at this point. That means I've sold over $1 million on eBay. When I first started, since then, I've taught hundreds of others how to dropship on eBay as well. I've become a coach and an instructor, teaching others how to do this. And I consistently sell over $150,000 a month and make over $10,000 a month in profit by doing eBay dropshipping. So that's who I am. But I wasn't always this successful. I struggled for a while. And you'll see this is my first 2 months. I started in early January of 2017. And as you'll see in the bottom left-hand corner, I didn't actually get my first sale until the very end of January. Kind of had some growth, and then it dropped off in February. So it was very inconsistent. It was a real struggle for me. That's me like pushing the boulder up the mountain, just trying to struggle to understand it. And eventually, finally, I figured it out. I figured out what it is that I was doing wrong, but more importantly, I discovered what to do right. And part of that involved hiring a virtual assistant. Now, I did it at the time out of desperation. I was kind of running on fumes and I needed a break. So I thought, okay, if I hired somebody for $3.50 an hour and they worked for me for 10 hours a week, that means I will pay them about $150 a month. So that would be $150 less in profit each month. That sounds logical, right? So I asked myself, is that worth it? Is it worth $150 less a month to do it? And at the time I said yes. I was just working way too much. I was working a 9-to-5, doing this on the side, and I just couldn't handle it all. But I'm going to spoil things right now. This question, is that worth it? This whole formula is absolutely wrong. It's not the way you want to think about it. And that's the most important thing that I'm going to teach you today. The most important thing you're going to learn is that hiring a virtual assistant helps you make more money. That's today's big takeaway. See, what happened after I hired my first virtual assistant, it wasn't that I started earning $150 less each month. I started earning hundreds more each month, and then thousands more each month. It seemed like the more virtual assistants I hired, the more profit I made. But let me just kind of preface this with saying, I don't want you guys to go out and go hire 10 virtual assistants and expect to start making a ton of money. You got to start small. You got to build your way up. You got to understand how to hire virtual assistants, when to hire them, and how to train them. So just don't think that you can just hire 10 and just be set. I think you guys know that. I think you're smarter than that. So I kind of want to show you the inside of my PayPal account so you can see what I'm talking about. See on the top left, over $1 million in sales since I started in January of 2017. This is just through the end of March, just as way of an example. And you'll see on the bottom, it started out pretty slow rise. And you'll see it started to move up right between July and August. See that down in the bottom in the middle? Right here. So where do you think it is, or when do you think it is that I hired my first VA? Somebody guess in the comments. What month do you think it is that I first hired my first VA? I see a couple right answers. It is in July. That's when I hired my first VA. And after I did that, I tripled my sales between July and August. Now, when do you think it is that I hired my second virtual assistant? When I say VA is just a short for virtual assistant. So when do you think it is that I hired my second VA? That's right, the next month in August, and I tripled my sales again. In fact, I kept hiring new virtual assistants, and for a couple of months, I kept tripling my sales. And you see, it just went up and up and up and up all the way to January. And as of now, I now have 9 virtual assistants, and all 9 of my virtual assistants, they run about 95% of my eBay dropshipping store for me. And I just do a little bit of the work, which is pretty cool. So let's break down what happened. How is it that hiring virtual assistants, no, it's no lie here. When I hire the virtual assistants, I have to pay them, of course. They get paid. So you would think that it would cost me, my profit would go down because it's cost me so much money to pay these virtual assistants. So how is it that I'm actually making more money by hiring more virtual assistants? And that's really what I want to teach you today. But before we do that, I have a quick disclaimer about this. The results, as you see, I have to just say this, are not typical. But let's just break this down for a second. When I first started, I didn't have a goal of making a ton of money. I just wanted to make like a little bit, just enough to be able to go out and enjoy, like once a week, go out on a date night. Like $100 a week would have been fine. Once I started doing that though, I said, okay, I got to set my goals a little higher. So I set a goal of making $5,000 a month. Now, how do you get to $5,000 a month? Divide that by 31 days. That's just $161 a day. That's all you have to make in order to start making $5,000 a month. So that's kind of just the better way of looking at it, I think. Instead of looking at a big number, break it down. $161 a day is still pretty big, but it is very attainable. It makes it seem like it's much more manageable. And I'm going to show you how hiring virtual assistants can help you get to a number like that. So these are the 3 key secrets that I found as to why hiring virtual assistants have helped me make more money, more profit. So the first secret I have is that it has allowed me to focus on growing my store. And we're going to go into these more in depth in a second. I just want to give you an overview of all 3 of them. So that's secret number 1. Secret number 2 is that I took advantage of employee arbitrage. Now I'll explain that. And the third secret, well, this is kind of something really cool, something that I'm going to share with you guys when we get to that slide. So secret number 1, hiring a virtual assistant allowed me to focus on growing my store. Okay. So what do I mean by that? So this is a little exercise I want you guys to do. Not now, but do this later. Get a piece of paper and make 3 columns on the piece of paper. On the column on the left, I want you to write down what I would call like low-level routine tasks. These are tasks that anyone can do. In the middle column, write down tasks that are too hard for you to do or that you just don't like to do. And in the third column, I want you to write down tasks that only you can do, nobody else. So for me, I found something that fits into both of the first 2 columns. And that is, sorry, I should say this. Anything you put in the first 2 columns, those are things that you must outsource to your virtual assistants. There's no question about it. There's no negotiation here. If it falls into category 1 or category 2, one of those first 2 columns, you have to outsource it to your virtual assistants. You don't have time to do it for yourself. So for me, something that actually fell into both of these categories was order fulfillment. I hated doing order fulfillment, and it took a lot of time, and it's something that I could easily teach to someone else. So this is the first thing that I outsourced to someone else. That freed up my time. Since I didn't have to spend 4 hours a day now placing orders like I used to, I now had time to do things like finding strategies to increase my profit, or trying to add new sources. Instead of just listing from one source, I started to diversify, and I opened up a 2nd and 3rd eBay store. These are things I would not have had time to do if I had been spending so much time placing orders. Plus, I might have actually just given up on the whole thing because I hated placing orders so much. But now I actually have 4 virtual assistants who place orders for me because I hate doing it so much, and I want to make sure that I never have to do it. So those virtual assistants do it for me, and so I don't have to worry about it. But let me go back for a second, because remember that PayPal chart? If it weren't for these virtual assistants that have been helping me out, I would not have had time to do other stuff as well. And one of the things I wouldn't have had time to do was to make these YouTube videos for you guys, to make my courses. So even, like I said, I have virtual assistants running 95% of my store now. So if you ever want to branch out and do something else like Amazon or just any other type of thing you want to do, then hiring virtual assistants to take care of these tasks on eBay will free up your time and allow you to try these new things. So that's pretty cool, and that's something I've been discovering a lot lately. So if that makes sense to you, if secret number 1 makes sense to you, just let me know in the comments that makes sense. Cool, looks like it's making sense to a lot of people. Cool. All right, so we can move on to secret number 2. And secret number 2 is what I call employee arbitrage. I kind of just made this up, but I'm sure other people are using this term too. And this is basically how it works. See, in September of 2014, there was a census in the United States, and they revealed that the median household income in the United States was almost $52,000 a year. So that breaks down to about $25 an hour. Now, in the Philippines, the average salary is just $5,000 a year, which breaks down to $2.40 an hour. So you could hire someone in the United States for $25 an hour, or you could hire someone in the Philippines for just $2 an hour. So you can see how huge of a difference that is. And yes, I do hire many virtual assistants for only $2 an hour. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that most people in the United States, or a lot of people, don't make $25 an hour. But what you might not realize is that most of the virtual assistants you're going to hire, that you're going to find, are college educated and have completed higher education. So these are highly qualified individuals, and that is really the secret here. If you pay someone $25 an hour, it will quickly eat up your profit. But if you're hiring someone for $2 an hour, someone who's highly qualified, it's a good salary for your virtual assistant, and they're doing great work for you. So if that sounds like a win-win to you, just type win-win into the comments so I know that that makes sense and that sounds great to you guys, as great to you as it does to me. So what happened with me was I hired my first virtual assistant for about $3.50 an hour. I just didn't know better. And I thought that that was the least I could pay them. I thought it was a great deal. And I kind of wish I had known then what I know now, because I had hired them through a platform where you do have to pay at least $3 to $3.50 an hour. I thought it was the only fair thing to do. And as I learned, things I've learned over the past year is that there's other places you can hire virtual assistants for that you only have to pay them about $2 an hour, and they're more than happy to do it. It's actually a better deal for them, believe it or not, and it's obviously a much better deal for you. So that's something I wish I had known then that I do know now. And I see a lot of people typing win-win into the comments, so that's great that you guys agree that this is an awesome situation for everyone. So let's kind of move on to secret number 3 here. Okay. And this is the big one, the one I didn't want to reveal before, because this is one I think is so cool. One of the reasons why hiring virtual assistants can make you more money than if you're doing everything on your own is because, believe it or not, they are better than you. And I know that can hurt your ego, but you got to believe it. You got to really understand this. Just think about this. You are hiring someone, a virtual assistant, to list or to place orders. They've been doing this for years. This is the only thing that they've done for years. They're very good at it. They've been doing it a lot longer than you. So you're going to find someone who's experienced, who has done this before, and they have a lot more experience than you do. Also, they are able to focus on just this one task. I don't know about you guys, but every time I used to list or place orders, I was constantly thinking about other things I had to do for my store. I had to do this, I had to do that, I had to do customer service. I was all running through my head, and so much so that I couldn't focus on the details. And so my virtual assistants, on the other hand, they are only focused on one task. They are only looking at, okay, what is it that I have to do today? I just have to place orders. So they're completely focused on that one task. I had a student, Bill, who I interviewed on my YouTube channel a while back, and he said it better than I ever could. He said, this is not an exact quote, but it's something along the lines of, I grow my business by hiring people who are smarter than me. And that is such a brilliant thing to say. In fact, Bill hired a virtual assistant his first month in business and has attributed much of his success on eBay. I think he earned about $1,500 in profit his first month. He attributed much of that success to eBay drop shipping, rather to the virtual assistant he hired to help with his eBay dropshipping store. So I hope that makes sense. If that does, type the word better into the comments so that you guys understand that, just so I know. Now, this, as entrepreneurs, this might be hard for you guys to let go and to accept the fact that virtual assistants, they might do a better job than you, and to just kind of let go of that control. That is something difficult. It was difficult for me. It took me a while to do it. But let me tell you about my history of hiring virtual assistants to help me list items into my eBay store. So in about November of 2017, I had hired my first virtual assistant to help me list. And I was immediately impatient with her. She was doing probably in retrospect an okay job, but I just never trusted them to do it. I always thought it was too important of a job and they can never do it. So I had let her go. Then I hired somebody else. I trained him. Again, I let him go. I wasn't happy with it. Finally, just a couple of months into 2018, I said, I can't keep doing this. I have too much work. I have to train somebody to do this right. So I put my money where my mouth was. I've been telling people about how great virtual assistants are and how they can do anything for your store. So I found some virtual assistants. I interviewed them. I have to go through a interview process. That's really important to make sure you do that correctly. And to find the right virtual assistant, I gave them tests, which are also very important to do. I finally found one. I think, okay, she might do a good job. I kind of let her. I gave control to her. I just let her do it. And you know what? She's doing a really great job. And my store is growing again because I didn't have time to list. So my store's growth kind of declined. But now that she's listing, the growth is going back up. And she's brilliant. She's coming up with ideas that I never would have thought of. She messaged me just the other day and said, hey, Paul, why aren't we doing this? And I said, what do you mean? And she explained it to me. And I said, I had never known you could, I didn't know you could do that. You should totally do that. So that's a pretty cool thing that I was really happy that she just came up with this on her own. And the growth, thanks to her, has been really great. So that's an example of how you should be letting go and trusting them because they are better than you. They have a lot more experience. So I kind of wanted to recap these 3 secrets that we went over. Okay, so first is hiring virtual assistants. Why does hiring virtual assistants help you make more money? 1, it allows you to focus on growing your store. You're not going to waste time on routine tasks. Second secret is that it's very affordable. Instead of paying $2 an hour, you're going to be paying closer to, instead of paying $25 an hour, you're going to be paying closer to $2 an hour. That is what I called income or employee arbitrage. And finally, you're going to hire someone who's better than you. You don't need to reinvent the wheel here. You don't need to start from scratch and to train someone who's never done this before. There are plenty of virtual assistants out there who already have great experience doing this. You're going to find them, you're going to hire them, and they're going to do a great job. So those are the 3 secrets. Cool. So I kind of wanted to show you guys. I know you guys, I promised you guys I would have a chance to, let me just finish sharing. Get rid of the screen share for a second. Cool. So I kind of promised you guys I would have an opportunity to explain some other cool opportunities to learn more about this. I'm just trying to find the chat. Lost it on my screen. Let's see what you guys are saying. Cool. Better. All right, you guys are all here. Cool. All right, so I promised you guys I had an opportunity to share with you. I thought what you would find really cool. So let me open this up and tell you about it. All right, so here we are. This is my brand new course. It's called Super Simple VAs. Again, VA stands for Virtual Assistants. And this is the inside of it. This is what it looks like. You guys can see that, right? Okay, cool. So this is it. This is the introduction. We kind of went over this a little bit just now. These are the reasons why hiring a virtual assistant is so powerful, how it can really help grow your store's potential and income and sales. But here's a little bonus I'm throwing in here. It is a virtual assistant hiring checklist. This is going to make sure that you don't miss anything along the way as you're hiring and training your virtual assistants, you can download this, print it out, and check off every box as you go along. What else you got in here? So this is phase one. I'm breaking this down into 3 phases for you. In phase one, this is everything you have to do before you hire your first virtual assistant. This you can do, the earlier you do this, the better. So you can start planning now, well before you think you need a virtual assistant, because there's things you have to do in order to prepare for one if you want to make sure that the process goes as smoothly as possible. So I explain all that in here. I talk about when you should be hiring your first virtual assistant, which tasks you should outsource first, and then to decide what type of person you want to be hiring and getting on your team. That brings us into phase 2, which is where you actually hire your first virtual assistant. And I go over some websites you can hire them from. I compare them. I tell you which one I like and why. And I reveal the one that you can use to hire someone for $2 an hour, which is pretty freaking fantastic in my opinion. And this is something else cool I'm giving you guys as another bonus. You're gonna have to make job postings. Well, I've made the job postings for you. Literally all you have to do is copy and paste them. They're right in here. And then I show you how to review the job applications. I show you what to do for interviewing. You wanna make sure that you do the interview process correctly. A lot of people just set up an interview and then hire the first person. And I'm telling you right now, that's the wrong thing to do. You want to make sure that you weed out the bad, so-called bad virtual assistants and hire the ones that are actually going to help your team and be the best fit for your business. So that's going to be all in there. I'm going to explain that all to you. And there's sample interviews here, so you can see the interviews that I've conducted with my virtual assistants before I hired them. The third phase, once you've hired your first virtual assistant, this is what you do next. I'm going to show you how to communicate with your virtual assistant. The very first thing you should do with your virtual assistant that you need to do, if you don't do this, it could spell disaster for your entire relationship with your virtual assistant. And I explain that all right in there. I talk about VPNs if you don't know what those are, and those are important as well. And I teach you how to train your virtual assistant. So there's really 2 ways to do this. You can either create documents, kind of like a PDF workbook showing them what to do, or you can create videos. And I will tell you right off the bat, videos are much more powerful, they're much more useful, and the virtual assistants learn a lot faster if you make videos, but I show you how to do that in there. And now this lesson is probably, right here, this lesson is probably the most important lesson in the entire course, because this one shows you how you can have your virtual assistants work on your eBay store without ever letting them log into your eBay account. They can do about 90 to 95% of the work without you ever having to give them your eBay password. So what do I mean by that? They can list, they can answer customer questions, they can do item not received cases and returns, they can do partial refunds without ever having to log into eBay, without ever exposing any of your financial information. I explain it all right here. Like I said, once you're inside the course, pay special attention to this one. This one is really important. What else? I talk about firing your virtual assistants. Obviously, that's going to happen. It might happen at some point, hopefully not. But it's something you have to do right. You should do it in a respectful manner. And I tell you how to do that in here. And then I kind of give some final thoughts, and I give this bonus content. This is what you want to do when you're ready to hire more virtual assistants and to hire a team. And that's what I've done. Like I said, I have a team now of 9 virtual assistants that run 95% of my eBay store. All I do is I log in for about 30 minutes a day, answer the high-level questions, the ones that my virtual assistants can't handle. Then what else do I pay off the credit cards, and that's really it. That's all I do. So that's stuff that they can't do, but they do everything else, 95% of it. And now this is my favorite part of the course. This last video down here, this last video is just a quick lesson for you, explaining to you about this website. This website is really cool. And I made this a different website on purpose, and I'll show you why in a second. To get on here, you have to enter a password, and I give you the password. Once you log in, there's a whole bunch of videos here, and there's more coming. And these videos are training videos that you can send to your virtual assistant. So you just send your virtual assistant this link, or you click on the video and send them the link directly to this video, and it trains them. You don't have to make the videos yourself if you're not comfortable being in front of the camera or having your voice, or you don't have the equipment for it. It's all right here. You don't have to make the videos yourself. This is going to save you guys so much time and energy and just a headache, because it's all right here for you. So as you see, there's a reason I call this course Super Simple VAs, because I'm literally trying to make it as super simple as I can for you guys to hire and train your virtual assistants. That's why I've given you these videos right here. So I kind of wanted to recap everything that you're getting here so you guys understand what you're getting. So the first thing is you're getting the entire video training course for the lifetime of the course, and similar courses to this are selling for $499. We also are giving you the downloadable virtual assistant hiring checklist. That's a $29 value. Bonus number 2 are those done for you job posts. All you have to do is copy the job post and paste it, and that's a $29 value. It's going to save you a lot of time, and you can learn from my experience, because you have to have the right things in the job posts if you want to hire the right candidates. And until you've done a few of them, you're not going to know what to put in there, but I put it all in there for you, so you don't have to figure it out on your own. Bonus number 3 is I give you the sample interview questions. Just like the previous bonus, you want to understand what questions to ask your virtual assistants in order to weed out the ones that aren't going to be a good fit. And I explain exactly what to do with this bonus interview questions for you guys to use. That's bonus number 3. Bonus number 4 are downloadable customer service scripts. These are a $99 value because they save you from so many sticky situations. If customers ask you hard questions, all you have to do is send them the response, the canned response that I give you inside the customer service script. The best part though, you can give these scripts to your virtual assistants, and the virtual assistants can then send the canned responses. So it's going to save you some training, so you don't have to make these yourself. And it's going to save you from a lot of trouble on eBay, because these have been tested, canned responses, and they've worked really well for my team and for a lot of my students who I've given them to as well. So that's bonus number 4, but there's another bonus number 5, which is that bonus video to show you how to manage a team of virtual assistants. After you hire your first virtual assistant, you don't want to stop there. You want to keep growing your team. So bonus number 5 is going to show you exactly how to do that, how to have a whole group of virtual assistants like I do that run 95% of my store for me. So that's going to be right there. And one more bonus number 6. These are the done for you training videos, that secret website I showed you that you can send your virtual assistants. This is going to save you guys so much time and energy and headache. That's why the value is at $399, which brings the total value of the course, bonus number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, to a total of just over $1,000. But I'm not going to sell it to you guys for $1,000. But let's look at this for a second. How much? Let me ask you this: if training virtual assistants increase your profit by $1,000 a month, would this package be worth it to you? Yeah, after a month and a little bit longer, you'd be making a profit. Absolutely. Now, if it increase your profit by $2,000 or $3,000 a month, would it be worth it, this package? Yeah, absolutely. That's like a no-brainer. But guess what? Like I said, I'm not going to sell it to you for this much, $1,000. I'm not even going to sell it to you guys for half of that. That's the final price today. So there's a link to it underneath the video. If you want it for that price, you should click the link now before the price goes up, because it is going up soon. And look, guys, you have 2 choices here. You can try to figure this out on your own, potentially make a lot of mistakes and have to make all these training videos on your own. Or you can click on the link under the video now, get access to it today for the cheapest it will ever be. And it's super simple. It's right there. So I want to make sure I have some time to answer your guys' questions. So let me come over here and the screen share. I'm back. All right. I know a lot of you guys have questions about this. I want to make sure I'm here to answer them. Carmen says, wow, thank you for the amazing deal. Rodrigo says, I have it already. Molest says, do the virtual assistants do bookkeeping as well? You can hire virtual assistants to do bookkeeping. I was just on the website where I hire virtual assistants. I was looking at it, and there are plenty that do bookkeeping. You can search by that. Let me just check something right here. Cool. Yeah. Cool. So let me guys ask you this. What do you guys want to be here? Do you want to be the owner of your eBay store? Do you want to be the manager, or do you want to be the CEO? Now, the store manager is kind of someone who runs the daily operation, does everything on their own, or rather the owner does. The manager is one who kind of manages a team, but still running around telling them what to do. And the CEO is kind of the person who just sits back and shows up to work sometimes, but brings home the most money. And for a while, I was happy being the person running the store. Then I was happy being the manager. You know, I kind of wanted to be in there a little bit doing the work myself. But now that I'm kind of like more of a CEO, like I show up a little bit, but bring home the most money, it's a really great place to be, let me tell you. And it's freed up a lot of time for me. It's allowed me to make these videos for you guys, to make these courses for you guys. These are things I would not have been able to do had I not hired a team of virtual assistants. So I don't know about you guys. Yeah, Rodrigo saying wants to be the CEO. Norma says wants to be a CEO. Everyone's agreeing the best is the CEO. So that, I don't know about you guys, but that's the best place I want to be here. So again, the link to that is underneath the video, but I'm going to be around to answer any questions you guys have. I'd be happy to do that. Okay. LI 1190 says, is basically asking which software is best to use with virtual assistants for listing. I'm telling you, you'll find someone who has used all of them. Or rather, I found virtual assistants that have used every type of software out there. So if you're using it, there's going to be a virtual assistant who has used it too. So I wouldn't worry about that. There's a lot of virtual assistants looking for work right now, and a lot of with great experience. And V. Shane says the training videos alone to give your virtual assistants is worth this course. I'm so happy you said that because I put a lot of work into those, and I think they're really valuable. They're going to save you a lot of time. Cool. So let me take a look at what's going on inside the course right now. I see that Sean just signed up. Cheryl just sorry, tongue twister. Cheryl just signed up. Nancy also. Welcome everybody to the brand new course. Anne's here as well. We also have Brian. This is awesome, guys. Shaya says there are 99 people watching. That's cool. Richard says, where can I find the training video? So once you subscribe to the course, the last video in the course will explain to you how to get into the training videos. Rodrigo says, what is the best way to train your virtual assistants? That will be inside the course, but the best way to do it is if you're using a website like Upwork, it's built in. Online Jobs also has one built in, or you can use a website like Payoneer to pay your virtual assistants. Okay. And Richard, yeah. Mark said PayPal started charging for overseas. Yeah, I would suggest using Payoneer. That's what I just started using instead of PayPal to pay my virtual assistants. So if anyone's watching this and has any questions about what I'm talking about, you can email me. And the easiest way to do that is just to go to the website. The link to it is underneath this video. And on the bottom right-hand corner will be a chat box. You can chat with me right there. That gets sent to my email if I'm not there, and I can answer your question there. So click on the link underneath the video, ask me questions on the website, and that's a great way to get in touch with me. Danielle says, what level in sales would you have to be at to justify hiring a virtual assistant? So Danielle, this is kind of what I was explaining about before with one of my students, Bill. He didn't have a lot of sales. He hired a virtual assistant right out the bat to help him with listing. And he said it's because he hired that virtual assistant early, got the listings up, that he started to see the sales early on. So that's kind of gives you an idea that you don't need to have a lot of sales. But if you feel more comfortable, I would wait until you really get to a point where you feel like even if you don't make more money, you could still afford to pay the virtual assistant. So let's say you're making $300 a month and you want to hire a virtual assistant. You plan on paying the virtual assistant $50 a month. That might be worth it to you as an experiment. And I guarantee if you do it right, it's going to help you grow. But if you feel uncomfortable with it or just unsure, that's a good way to start. But like I said, I really believe if you do it right, you're going to see growth doing it this way. Rodrigo, I pay my virtual assistants weekly. But there's nothing wrong with doing it monthly or bi-weekly. It's just however you work it out with your virtual assistant. You want the virtual assistants to have the right expectations right from the beginning. So Mike says, how do you know the hours a virtual assistant actually works? I do go over that in the course. It's something that is covered, but there is software that will track their time so that you make sure that they are working the hours that they say they are working. And Jonathan has a great tip for virtual assistants, one I completely agree with. Make them happy and you get great results. That's true. I mean, you don't have to go like crazy to make them happy. You don't have to give them like a ton of bonuses or anything. Just treat them with respect. Be nice to them. Obviously, you're the boss, so you gotta set down ground rules and the right expectations. But be friendly, and it kind of surprises them. I think it's unfortunate that I've been told that a lot of their bosses haven't been nicest in the past. So I think if you're nice to them, it's kind of a breath of fresh air, and they want to keep working for you. So be nice to them, and you're going to get great results. They're going to go above and beyond for you. No, Peter, you do not have to have an LLC to hire virtual assistants. Al says, it is a great course. Thank you, Al, and there'll be more of those training videos coming up soon. Kyle wants to know, does my VA list 7 days a week? No, I kind of give my VA flexibility to list when she has time and when she wants to. She generally lists 5 days a week during the week, whatever hours she wants to. It's not the type of job that has to be done at a certain time, as long as she gets it done and she doesn't work on the weekends. Cool. These are great questions, guys. Jonathan, yes, I only have one VA who's listing right now, and I did that on purpose because I want her to be in full control of it, and I just increase her hours. She does a great job. I don't see the need to have a second one at this time. So Peter, you don't have to go through the main dropshipping course that I have in order to get value out of this virtual assistant course. They're separate. And you can get the virtual assistant course and get value out of it without being in the main course. So Flying wants to know what all my virtual assistants are doing. So I have one who's doing listing, 4 that place orders, 2 that do customer service. Then I have 2 other stores. So that's like basically one store. They basically handle one store basically. And then I have 2 other virtual assistants who handle my other 2 stores because they're smaller and they just do everything. Cool. Mike wants to know how to get in touch with me. Mike, I mentioned this before, but go ahead and click on the link underneath this video. That's going to take you to the course. And in the bottom right-hand corner, you can go ahead and click a a button to message me. And that's a great way to message me, and I can get in contact with you through that. Al wants to know, what is a good amount of listings per hour for a VA to do? I've never really focused on a number of listings per hour. I look for quality over quantity, especially in the beginning. I tell my virtual assistant, I don't have a number that I require you to do every hour at first. I just want to make sure that you do a good job. So I'm going to take a look at your work, make sure it's good, but I do expect you to do more as time goes on. I'm also trying to be understanding of the fact that even when I list, there are some hours because of product research that I only list a couple or a few items. It's just the way it goes that day. In other hours, I can list a whole ton of items in a really short period of time. So I just look at how much she's done over the week, and if it looks like a fair number and the amount that I would expect her to do over that week, then we're good. And I'm at the point now where I trust her. I don't even check her work. You can kind of make them believe you check their work even when you don't. And that works pretty well too. So Mike's saying that a lot of virtual assistants have a hard time getting on different websites, and he's asking about CyberGhost. CyberGhost is what's called a VPN, a virtual private network. And I go over this exactly how to do this in the course, but you want to give your virtual assistant access to a VPN so that it looks like they're using a computer from inside the United States, so that they can then access these websites that they are unable to do from outside the United States. So Jonathan's asking exactly what I have my virtual assistant do for the listing. I have them do exactly what I do when I list. So whatever it is that you do when you list your items, that's what you want to train your virtual assistant to do. They're going to do exactly what you tell them to do. So Jay Goldie, a virtual assistant is not an employee. They're an independent contractor, and they're from outside the United States. So you do not need a 1099. Rodrigo's asking, how do the virtual assistants know what to list? Again, I train them. I train my virtual assistant who lists to do the same product research that I would do if I was listing. She knows how to do that. She knows how to use the software to do the research, and she does it all on her own. I don't tell her what to do, and she does it. She is able to do it completely on her own. I think she actually does it better than me at this point. Okay. Cool. These are great questions, guys. Moralzo says, if I use PayPal, does it automatically convert USD to pesos? I don't suggest you use PayPal anymore to pay your virtual assistants, but if you do, it will convert it if you want. But ask your virtual assistant which currency they want, because a lot of virtual assistants actually want to be paid in US dollars. So we're going to wrap it up in a minute. So if anyone has any last questions, I'd be happy to answer them for you guys. I think that's everything I wanted to cover as well. All right. How could I forget the contest? All right, guys. So I said you guys had to pay attention if you wanted to win the contest. So I mentioned before that I started to outsource some work right in the beginning. And I mentioned that there is one task that I completely hate to do. What is that task? And I'm going to choose one person who's answered it correctly, and that person is going to win a free entry to my course. It's not going to be the first person that answers. It's just going to be a random person that answers correctly. So which task is it that I outsource first because I hate doing it so much and that I never want to do it ever again? I see a lot of right answers. Actually, everyone's given a right answer so far. I'm going to give it a second, and then I'm going to scroll. I'm going to close my eyes and give it one more second. I'm going to open my eyes. The first one that I see is the one I'm going to pick. And that is AM. Whoever is AM, send me a message Again, you can message me by clicking the link underneath this video and sending a message in the bottom right-hand corner. I want to make sure it's actually you before I send it to you. So everyone say congratulations to AM for winning. Cool. Some people have the wrong answer. It's not listing. The right answer was order fulfillment. I hated doing order fulfillment. I still hate doing it. That's why I have 4 virtual assistants who are doing it for me. Cool. So I want to be respectful of your guys' time. So I want to say thank you for coming out and watching the webinar and all the great questions people had. If anyone has any questions about what we went over, again, click the link under the video, send me a message right there, and I'll be able to answer it for you. This deal is only around for a short period of time. So if you want to get it at the special price, again, let me show you guys. Where'd the screen go? We'll go like this. First, let me check out this. Okay. So we just had Octavian and Gail and Tyler and Clara and Jennifer just join the course. So welcome, guys. It's good to have you. And I'm going to show you again what you're getting. You guys don't want to miss out on it before the deal is gone. Remember, you're getting these super simple VA training videos you can send directly to your virtual assistants. They're all right here for you guys. And you're getting this full stack of items valued at over $1,000, but you're not going to pay that today. That's all you're going to pay right there for a short period of time. So if you guys want to take advantage of it, the link is underneath this video. Otherwise, click on the link, check out the course, just take a look at it, see if you want it, and send me a message there if you want as well. So let me just finish the screen so I can say goodbye to you guys. Thanks so much for coming out. I appreciate it, and have a wonderful day, everyone.